Hey, it's Petra Monaco with the Rebels Den, and with me today I have one of my favorite people, Jean. We connected 4 years ago,
Something like that, yeah.
right? And it was one of those times you had this amazing offer and said was it a year, right? We're gonna
Mhm.
connect every month for a year, and we're just gonna talk. And I was like, oh my God, that's scary. But I did it, and
You did it.
I showed up, and then I saw you take a break. I was like,
Yes.
well, you guys went through some health stuff, personal. I don't know how much you want to talk about that. That's fine. But you guys went through some stuff, and then you took a step back, and here you are again. And I was like, oh, she's back. How beautiful. So welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. It's good to be back and to see you again, Petra. Really, it is.
Yeah.
I really missed our connection. I missed the people I had connected with, but it was important to take time out.
Yeah. So, and you have a business.
I have a couple, 2 or 3 things going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my business is me, as it is with all of us, right? We are our businesses, regardless of what we call them.
Living and breathing.
And evolving and changing and, branding and rebranding and, doing whatever. We go through iterations and cycles, don't we?
We do.
So that's all important.
Yeah. So before we talk about this big thing that I think we're going to talk about, how did you get started in business? What made you decide to be an entrepreneur in the first place?
Necessity.
I mean,
well, it's one of these things that since I was about 5, people have been asking my advice. I was always the wee one with the really wise head on small shoulder kind of thing, and so people would be asking my advice and asking questions, and if you think about it, I suppose I've been doing it since I was little, but necessity means that I had to do something or go absolutely nuts, one or the other.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessity for making money, because God knows I haven't made much money as an entrepreneur, but it was necessity because I needed a focus and a purpose. More than anything else, that's what it was. So I had to sit down and ask myself, who am I? What am I about? What do I want to do? Who do I want to have in my life? Who do I want to serve, have in my life? They go hand in hand, right? And what direction do I want to head? Not necessarily what's my final destination. I mean, we all know our final destination is leaving this planet, right?
I think we get hung up in that, right? Like we don't think about that, and we get hung up on that and have this vision of this is when we arrive, when in fact we don't actually ever arrive until we pass on. So
yeah, exactly. It's not like we're really here. Thank you. Right? I'm here. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Right. So so we have to think about what our next step is always. Not what our step is 5 days from now, but what am I going to do today? What is today about? And within that concept of today, then what is my next hour about? What's my next 5 minutes about? Yeah. What is calling me to be done? And what feels good?
Yeah. One of the things that has shifted for me is like, what makes me happy?
Yes.
What will make me happy in this moment, and to do that, forget everything else.
Mm-hmm. I'd love for you to amplify that and say to yourself, what brings me joy in this next 5 minutes?
Yeah, for me, they're kind of interrelated.
Yeah. Because happy is great, but joy is so much more magnified and amplified. It is just so all-encompassing, right? Yeah. Happy means kind of like just in the immediate. And joy to me feels like it fills the room.
There you go. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, since I've been operating from that, things have shifted, right? Like, I get done, but I get to do so much goodness. Well,
since we connected, you have just gone on leaps and bounds, and I have just been delighted coming back and seeing this beautiful new woman that it was like, oh, fabulous.
Thank you.
You're
I often
welcome.
reflect on our conversations. There's definitely where I'm like, that was so good and juicy. And yeah, having taken a look back on that, it's been beautiful.
Mm. Yes. Well, it's beautiful to see you again. Definitely.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, and I know you guys went through some personal stuff. I saw it, because we're connected on Facebook. And then poof,
Poof.
he was gone.
Poof.
And periodically I think of because I intuitively, empathically, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen them in a while. Like it just kind of pops up, right? And so you check and I'm like, oh,
yep,
you're gone.
Yep.
And so we talked briefly before we jumped on that you took time off. Like you literally like stepped away, which I think is important for us to do every now and again.
Yeah, you gotta.
To kind of just
you gotta. You don't realize just how engrossed you become in all of the trauma.
Yeah.
Until you step away, it's like, I didn't realize just how much trauma there was. And really, do I want to go back?
Yeah.
Do I really want to go back to it?
Well, burnout is a real thing.
But yes, it is. And I don't know that I was burned out. It was a conscious decision because I was just so fed up with it all.
Mm.
It's not necessarily that I was burned out from it because my level of energy wasn't hitting the wall or anything. Yeah. I was just sick and tired of all of the trauma.
Yeah. I think burnout can look differently, right? It can be It can be just being sick of all the BS, honestly. It can just be that.
Yeah. And of course, all this business about social media and what Facebook is doing and privacy issues and all of that kind of crap, that's aside, that's part of the trauma, isn't it?
Yeah, truly.
But frankly, I thought there's got to be an alternative. Mm-hmm. There's got to be an alternative, something that's quiet, something that doesn't have everybody and their brother in my face all the time, right? And that's why I went to MeWe, because MeWe is a quiet alternative to Facebook. It's lovely. So I established myself out on MeWe for a little bit. And then I thought, yeah, but if I really want to connect with people, I've got to go to where, if you're going to fish, you can't fish in an empty pond.
Yes.
Yeah, got to go to the big pond where all the fish hang out, don't you?
Yeah.
But I suspect the fish aren't going to be in this pond much longer if Facebook keeps going the way they are.
Well, that's a whole different conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I certainly have my thoughts about it all.
Yeah. So I'm back on Facebook and reconnecting with people and making all kinds of new connections and loving every minute of it. You don't, just because you come back, it doesn't mean you have to have the same however many people you had and the same different categories they all fit in, and their little tribe of people all of a sudden, demanding, hey, her, I've got to get in your, connected with you too. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, boundaries, right? Like that's a real thing, and we tend to forget. Like, well, we're not even taught about boundaries, first of all.
We're not taught about caring for ourselves either.
Yeah, which falls for me, that falls into the same thing, right? Like we were literally taught to put everybody else first but ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's
so taking time out was part of this. I'm putting myself.
I love that.
And I've been very, very bullish about that ever since. I don't suffer fools gladly. Hmm. And I love, if someone's going to be very staunch about a position, then I love undermining the few pebbles to bring that position crumbling down, because if you're not certain about what you are thinking and believing and valuing and who you are being, then you have no purpose at this point in time really demonstrating and displaying who you are.
Yeah.
Right?
No, absolutely.
Because you do yourself a disservice and you do not serve anyone else. Mm-hmm. So get the crap in your head figured out first. Yeah. And then connect it with the stuff in your heart and make sure they meet nicely together.
Yeah.
Right? and then go out and start making connections and keep them few and far between, and keep your heart protected, and always, always, always be very questioning about what you're saying, what you're writing, and who you are being in the world. Because if you're not out there with integrity, then there's no reason for you to be out there.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up, because I definitely operate from integrity. That is my most important core value, which I discovered. I'm so glad.
Just now. It's like, oh, I just said it. Oh, okay.
Well, no, I mean, I knew for a few years now that integrity is literally my core value. And then it's pretty important to me.
Yep. I love that you just voiced it so nicely there. And yes, I understand that. But it's all about being congruent and consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't mean you can't change. It doesn't mean that you're going to write something today and then a week or so later you're going to change what you wrote. Not necessarily go back and change it, but say something that maybe doesn't actually jive with it, because every single moment you're changing. So
well, yeah, I mean, we evolve from,
exactly
experiencing what we're living through, from the spirit, the universe, whatever you would like to call it. We just evolve. We just be like, oh, maybe I need to shift. Maybe I need to do that. And that's literally been my experience the last 5 years that I've been a full-time entrepreneur, right? Like I was sharing with you, I started off as branding myself, and now I'm like stepping away from that. And that was a big deal for me.
But if evolution does not mean you are out of integrity.
Absolutely.
You can evolve, and because you're evolving, that means you are in integrity. This is exactly what integrity means. It doesn't mean you have to stay stuck in one point of view for 25 years.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's by taking a break, and however long that break is for ourselves, is pretty important. We have to get clear on, what we believe in, what we stand for, and how we're going to go up with that, and how we represent that. If you are confused about any part of it, you might want to step back.
Right? Take time out and step away.
Yeah.
Step away from the computer.
Yeah, it's really important. Like, one of the things for me is to take a time out and read, right? Like, I've become when we first talked, I didn't read a lot at all, because I love reading. It's one of my getaways, if you will.
Yes.
And then I went to college, and you're like, oh God, another book. And you get tired of reading. And then I found myself stepping away from learning, because I was like, I don't need to learn anything else. Not that I'm all knowing, but you just kind of have to step away from all of that. And I started reading again, but found myself in the paranormal fiction world and going, oh, this is my world. And things started shifting. Not integrity being key, but things have started shifting in every other aspect of my world too. And I'm going, oh, this is what I want.
Yes. Yeah.
No business book has ever taught me what I wanted. How about that?
No, I always say that you'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. Yeah, and not a moment sooner.
Yes. I like to say, and we do our best in every given moment with what we know, because we can't do more than with what we know.
what we know, what we have, and who we are.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So all this thing about I've got to attend that seminar, and I've got to go take that class, and I've got to sign on with this person and go for 2 months somewhere else to hang out in the back of Beyond, and do all that kind of stuff. No, you don't. You don't. You know everything you need to know when you need to know it. Yep. It's not going to come to you any sooner. Even if you spend thousands of dollars, it's not going to come to you until you need it. And when you need it, you got to trust it, because it will come to you, and you've got to say, that's what it is. Okay. I get it. I trust it. All right.
Yeah, that is so hard to do for people, right? That trusting thing, letting go of control. Yeah. I know a thing or two about that. but kind of letting go of that control, because we do. And I think that society in the world that we're brought up in is that we're supposed to, we're not, control the outcome when we literally, we can't. Like,
Well, there is no outcome to control.
like we just can't anyway. So,
No, well, we're not done with you yet.
Yeah.
Right?
So, you know, we have these expectations and these visions of how we want things to be, do, and have. But the reality is it will unfold however it needs to unfold for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it will. It doesn't matter how much you fight it. Doesn't matter how much you even embrace it.
Yeah.
It'll unfold for you in the right time, through the right way, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you may as well just surrender and accept it. It's the greatest control you can give, is to surrender and accept.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So, what are you up to now? Tell me all the things. What are you
all
up
the
to?
things, all the things. I'm up to all the things. Well, I'm writing. You know I write.
Yeah.
So I've got a serial narrative online called Mrs. Canning's Marvelous Magic. And every month I deliver episodes and a few other little tidbits as they come up. And so people get a newsletter, they click on the link and they go to the episodes and they can read, and they can even read all the past episodes and everything. But it's a wonderful way to introduce people to possibility. So it really is about kids. I'm writing it for kids, but the secret is I'm really writing it for the adults who read it to their kids.
I love that.
And it really is about giving everyone a very gentle opening to possibility.
Yeah.
So, you know, we talk about all kinds of things in there. And of course, the basis of it is about magic, because there's two kids that visit their grandma for the summer. And while they're at grandma's, grandma teaches them all about things magical. And of course, there's other few characters that come into play. And it's just a lovely, gentle way. And it's just so much, I get so much joy out of writing it. I can't hardly wait every month to sit down and see what's going to come. It's like, okay, who's coming next? Come on, tell me more. And it just kind of unfolds online on the website. So
I love that. The thing that just came to my mind, like, is you have, I don't know, have to being the right word, but being excited about what you do.
Oh, yes.
Everything, right? Like, for me, it's like literally I jump out of, I'm a writer as well. I mean, I write just about every day. Being able to jump out of bed and going, I'm going to write today, or, I'm going to art today, like just jumping out of bed. It's like, I'm so excited. Like, I have so many, like you and me, our heads are filled with all these creative things.
Yes. And like, you create with pyro on wood.
I do.
That is what you love to do.
I do. I keep going back to that. Like, I step away, I started painting and I do jewelry. I do a whole bunch of other things. But pyro is definitely my core, I think. It's like I keep going back to that. I can't live without it. Crochet being the other one I can't live without, which is really weird. But that was probably my first love and my introduction into the creative thing, other than writing.
Yes, and as you can see, my mess, right? My mess back here.
I mean,
that's all clay stuff, really, and I like to create little things in clay.
Oh, look at that. Zoom that in a little bit. Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
And she leans forward when you set her down. And the thing about this wonderful little lady is that she reminds me to lean into things. And just to be soft.
I love that. So, do you do the clay thing just for yourself or for other people?
Well, I do it for myself, because what I've learned about other people is that they say they want something, but they really don't know what they want.
Well, yeah, they don't.
No. And then whenever I create something, they're like, oh, but I'd like this to be this way. It's like, sorry, this is it. This is nothing, because, but I love to play. This is something else I've created. It's just a little paperweight, see?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'll zoom in.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So
And I don't think there's anything, like there's a few things that I never sell because they're just going to stay here. Because, I have an art business in addition to everything else. And it's okay for you to do for yourself. Like, I think we get so caught up. Everybody's talking about monetizing everything. And it's like, no, like, it's okay to not monetize something and keep it for yourself and just do it for yourself, because that's, I don't meditate in the traditional sense.
It's a possibility. It's actually a potentiality pod is what I call it.
Oh, nice. But so I don't meditate in the traditional way of sitting down with your eyes closed, quiet, that kind of, for me, it's more active, which is my art.
Yes.
For me, that's my meditation, because that's where I make.
When you're in the zone, you're in the zone. Doesn't matter if it's a shower or doing art.
Yeah. Right? So, and I think it's really important that we do keep things for ourselves and not like make it another money thing, right?
I'm not selling myself in the shower, I'll tell you that. Right. So when it comes to my stuff, when I create art, it's for me. If somebody sees something and they want to buy it, if they, for instance, this little girl, I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, she's so beautiful," and it's like, do you make things to sell? And well, no. Well, what if I wanted to buy her? Well, most of the time I give things away.
Yeah.
So if someone touches me in a meaningful way, as far as, touches my heart, or if I have a deep connection with somebody and I feel like it's appropriate, I'll send them a little something.
I love that.
I've been known to do that. So it's but these are things that I create, and I'm happy to share a little piece of me with people when it's appropriate. But I've also learned now that I'm not going to do probably much of that because, frankly, to send things anymore costs you an arm and a leg. This is something I've created for Mrs. Canning's Marvelous Magic.
Nice.
This is the Hearthstone Amulet, so it's a fictional piece, of course.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's all made out of polymer clay.
I love that.
Right? And the reason I've created this is because I need to do something. I can't draw because my hands don't allow me really to do that. So if I create it in clay and I can take photographs of it, then I can share this online and insert it into the writing, and people can get an idea of what, because this is called the Hearthstone Amulet in the book. So in the online narrative. So it gives people an idea. It gives them something, a frame of reference.
I love that. How you incorporate your writing with that art, though. That's
beautiful. So hence I'm starting to create the characters that appear in the book. Some of the magical creatures, I'm going to create them in clay so that people have a reference.
I love that. So where can people find this amazing story with?
Oh, it's on its own website, mrscanningsmarvelousmagic.com.
Yeah, well, we'll totally link that up because I want people to know about your magic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tiny subscription fee per month. It's like £2.95.
Awesome.
Cup of coffee, max,
Yeah. Yeah, not
and they have a lot of fun reading. I've had a lot of good feedback on it. So
that's awesome. Is there anything else you would like the listeners to know?
Oh, I love conversations.
Yes. Yes, you do.
And I'm happy to converse with people. As I have decided my services will be free, but I get to pick and choose who I serve.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't serve people who aren't committed to themselves.
That's accurate. I know from experience.
So if you're not willing to do the work, I'll fire your ass.
Yeah.
But you've got to be committed to yourself, because if you're not committed to yourself, I can't be committed to you.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to serve.
For conversations and commit to do the work.
Yeah. Commit to do the work, and I will give you work to do.
I love that. She will. She will. Her testimony.
But, if people want to contact me, if they're interested in truly exploring more of who they are, because, I dive deep with you.
Yes. Yes, you do.
And we definitely root out parts of you probably haven't unearthed in a while. But it's really important. So if you're willing to do that work, you can contact me and we'll have a conversation and we'll see if you really are.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, and if you are, I would be happy to be of service to you in that way. But the one thing I hope people will do is start buying the books on Amazon, because there are several books out on Amazon. I hope that they will start supporting me by subscribing to Mrs. Canning's Marvelous Magic, to, you know, engagement in that way. Because if I don't charge for the service, then I'm hopeful that my products
Mm-hmm.
my will deliver at least a little bit for me in that
Yeah,
way.
I love
Because my service changed lives, you know, you know that.
that. Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I
it shifts lives.
know.
Yeah.
Certainly. So
So I'm
we'll be
happy to do
linking
that.
all that information for sure.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jean,
Peter, what way can I support you?
oh, you can just share once I link everything. Just share our conversation with the world.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
And
Well,
please,
Jean,
you know I'm here, so
I know. She's the most amazing. I'm so happy she's back. Y'all don't even know. Thanks, Jean, for having this conversation with me.
welcome, darling. Love you lots.